French cars may not be the most popular in Australia, but when it comes to hot hatches, few do it better. That's why we've come here all the way to Portugal to drive this, the all-new Peugeot 308 GTI. It follows in the footsteps of other cult classics from the brand, most notably the 205 GTI and more recently the 208 GTI. This latest model has been tuned by the French brand's in-house racing department, Peugeot Sport. And the good news for them is they had a good foundation to build on, because the new 308, even in its humblest three-cylinder form, is one of the most impressive cars from the company in years. Peugeot will offer the new GTI with one engine but in two different states of tune. The 1.6 litre turbocharged four-cylinder can either be had with 182 kilowatts or 200 kilowatts of power. Torque's the same for both engines, 330 newton meters, and both drive the front wheels via a 6-speed manual transmission. But there are some key differences. The more powerful GTI 270 model gets lighter, larger 19-inch alloy wheels, sportier seats, and the choice of two-tone black and red paint job. But more importantly, it gets a Torsen limited slip differential that helps get the power to the road, bigger brakes for more stopping power, and better Michelin rubber. The GTI has been developed on Peugeot Citroën's new modular underpinnings that have really focused on saving weight. And you can feel that in the 308. It actually tips the scales more than 100 kilograms lighter than the Volkswagen Golf GTI and more than 200 kilograms less than the Ford Focus ST, two of its chief rivals. You can feel how light and agile it is on the road too. It really responds quickly to even the smallest driver inputs. Now Peugeot opted not to develop adaptive dampers for this car and instead tried to find a great balance between comfort and the sort of responsive handling you expect from a hot hatch. And I've got to say the result is pretty good. It leans a bit more into corners, doesn't sit quite as flat as the Golf or the Focus, but once you get used to it, it does have really impressive road holding. These tyres hang on really well, so it feels really fun and engaging to drive, which is just what you want in a hot hatch. It isn't perfect though. Trying to put so much power through the front wheels, even with the limited slip diff, is too much at times. The dreaded torque steer, when the steering wheel tries to pull out of your hands, emerges if you try to feed on the power in a surge. The engine also sounds a little underwhelming, even when you engage the sport mode, which unleashes more exhaust note. It lacks a bark to match the bike. The cabin of the 308 impresses too. Inside here, there's a nice blend of comfort but also sportiness. The 308 has this small steering wheel, which you get on every model, but it really suits the character of the GTI. It's really sporty, feels a bit like a go-kart, and it actually results in pretty responsive steering as well. The high-set dials right up on the top of the dashboard won't suit everyone. Shorter and taller drivers might find that the steering wheel interferes with some of the dials, particularly the speedo, which is a bit of an issue. But the touchscreen infotainment system is pretty intuitive to use, and it looks pretty clean and classy, one of the better hot hatch cabins on the market. Another carryover from the 308 though is a lack of backseat space, which isn't ideal, and it does mean this isn't the most practical of hot hatches. But overall though, there's some real sporty touches that make this feel a bit more special than the average GTI. The seats in this high-spec model are nice body hugging, there's a bit of leather on them, so they feel quite comfortable, but also give you that lateral support when you're cornering. All in all, it's a pretty good thing. Where the 308 GTI is likely to run into trouble is value. It is expected to start at around $45,000 for the 182 kilowatt version and top out at around $55,000 for the top spec model. That will position it above the Golf GTI, Focus ST, and even the more powerful all-wheel drive Golf R, which is a shame because it offers up plenty of performance in a classy, understated package. The 308 GTI is a worthy addition to the French hot hatch family. It's fast, it's fun, and it's engaging to drive. But Peugeot will need to price it right if it's to become a popular hit and not just another cult classic.